We did it. We actually did it! I mean, of course we did. As expected, HFX 2, Forge 1 at Wanderers grounds. And we have locked in not only a playoff spot, but a match at home. At a minimum, we'll be fourth, and with as much as second being possible. But requiring a lot to go in our favor, including a win at IG Field. Even a draw will just keep us fourth, as Pacific have the lead on total wins, the primary tiebreaker. If we get second, which requires beating Valor by 2 goals, and Pacific and Forge both losing their last games, we come into it with 2 lives, as losing a Cavalry at ATCO Field will simply dump us into the lower bracket against the winner of third versus fourth, whereas winning will give us a place in the finals. Third will come if we win by 1 goal and Pacific and Forge both lose. Gary from the excellent Wanderers podcast, Down the Pub, said we were playing with house money after completing our primary goal of getting this far in a non-island game scenario. And I agree fully. Even if we get absolutely beanbagged in our first playoff match and dumped out quickly, while I'll still be upset we lost and I'll still talk about the game in kind, I'll be quite happy about how much we've done this season and looking forward to seeing how much we can do in the next. This is how it went down. First of all, good news to see Tristan Henry fit again, back in action after a serious injury scare after a save in their previous game, which left him hitting the goalpost hard. For the first 10 minutes, it looked like it could have gone either way. Forge were up for it. We were up for it. There were fouls, good shots, good saves, a lot of energy, even by standards of the opening minutes of a match. We opened the scoring at the 12th minute with a goal from Massimo Ferrin and an assist from Rumi, seemingly out of nowhere. Immediately after, out came Forge, ready to fight back. Over the course of 3 minutes, Forge got an entire salvo of shots out against us, with their man of the match, Ricard James, getting tackled on point by Jordan Peruzza, still going and earning a throw-in. It all ended when James' push got a little too pushy, and he got at Omar a little too eagerly. A real let-off. It became another serious back and forth. We get it as far as their keeper. They get it as far as ours. Ram and Campbell do their best to keep it there, but Timoteo boots it all the way to the Forge third. Peruzza launches a shot high, but off a Forge player this time for a corner instead of on a collision course with the Starship Enterprise. For most of the rest of the first half, we intercepted a lot of Forge balls, and I mean a lot of them. In addition, it looked like every time we poached it off them, we were going to force them to do something big. They were able to do that big thing each time, but we made them work for it. It wasn't like they gave the ball away. Each time we picked it off, it was us picking it off. Omar and Caligari were integral to that. Forge finally got their joy in the 34th minute when Badibanga chipped the ball right over a 5-strong Halifax defense and right to James, the most dangerous non-scoring man on the field, as he made an excellent pass to, who else, Rubens Pacius, in order to equalize and give us something to think about. It wasn't even like we were lackadaisical or left too wide open. The only folks I can blame for their goal, Badibanga, James, and Pacius themselves. We got a real match. Ferrin chased the ball, as always, to pressure their play out the back and force a long ball at Tristan Henry. Daniels and Timoteo wasted no time keeping the momentum up from there, forcing action from Campbell and Pacius and a yellow card-worthy foul from Sissoko. Daniels' free kick started a passing play along the mid between him and Timo. Forge responded well enough to the free kick to require us to pass back for space. The visitors intercepted and broke, but Omar saved the day just as quickly, with Forge being the ones to move back for safety and space. Both teams kept getting into shooting distance and having to do desperate plays to stop the others from getting to their destination. Our well-timed interceptions continued, with Forge fouling frequently as Halifax became the consistent threat near the end of the half. At the 42nd minute, Nick takes a Caligari cross into the box and buries it, only for the linesman to flag for an offside that I'm not sure was an accurate call, unless I'm confused about the nature of offside, which is possible. Ramos' position at the time was playing him on. No time to get into that length, though. We go again. And go again we did, right back into Forge's half for Timoteo to catch on the wing, as Ramos stopped the following low cross and allowed the visitors to break. They found Campbell and Badibanga and Halifax conceded a corner knowingly in order to stop things ASAP. After defending their corner and breaking, Ferry and Coimbra made their move. Rama stopped the resulting shot ice cold. Hojabrapur fouled Farron, and the referee pointed to the spot in a call that Forge took as much issue with as we did the offside call. Bench yellows were involved, in fact, as it got heated enough that Michael Van Caution's assistants, Jordan Feliciano for us and Kit Salidopoulos for Forge. Be that as it may, it was time for Nimick to set right what for him went wrong only 5 minutes prior. Nimick went left as Henry went right, and Halifax went ahead, with the grounds going absolutely apeshit. You could probably have heard it from Bedford. What a way to end what might be the most important first half in the 5-year history of the club. This was a half where Forge had the lion's share of shots, possession, and attacks. However, the most important stat of the lot, by far, is the big one with 2 numbers and a line between them. And we had 2 of that while they had 1 of that. All we needed was to keep things going. And even if we were exposed once, we'd still have the playoffs. The primary task remained, as always, to see it out with us getting all 3 points, scoring again if need be, and making absolutely sure that even if Forge were to halt this run, they have to pry it away from us with everything they had in order to do it. Second half, and everyone is at the races. Halifax defensively and Forge offensively. It wasn't certain that, the match after we failed to hold on to a 1-0 lead against Vancouver, we'd be able to pull it off against a Forge side that were second in the league and likely to stay there, and until September 30th, hadn't lost since August 4th. However, we managed. We still took our shots when we could, but the priority was largely about making sure Forge didn't score against us, and really sure they didn't do it twice. At the 55th minute, we even subbed to match that intent. Jordan Peruzza out for Riley Ferrazzo. The TFC loanee was visibly upset about being subbed off, which I get, but he went about it all wrong in refusing to acknowledge anyone else on the team on his way to the sidelines as they addressed him in encouragement, even finishing by pushing off an assistant's offered hand and kicking a bucket onto the ground. Obviously, I won't ask for a player to be happy with subbed off, or even not upset. But that kind of attitude was poor enough that I now feel the need to reflect that in the rating. Not very kind on Ferrazzo. Am I being harsh on Peruzza? I hope not. If so, I'll change my approach in the future. The rest of the half was full of almosts and so closes, and scrambles and fouls in dangerous spots, and free kicks in equally dangerous spots. But it all came to a head in stoppage time as Forge made a charge the winged Hussars would have been proud of. Fillion made 5 excellent saves in this half alone, and 3 of them were in the last minute of play, as 6 Forge players rushed into the final third. Hojabrapur shooting from distance, then Pacius shooting in the box, forcing a Fillion double save. Rama passing back to Pacius, only to be met with a heavy touch. Caligari nearly got it out of there, only for Becker to keep the momentum going for the visitors. Borge crosses it to James, who had to take the header. Fillion caught it clean, went to ground, and that was that. Our whole season mini-series against Forge leaves us undefeated. 8 points we got out of a team that only last season used our pitch as a training ground and a bowling alley. Turn up, knock them down, get the points. This time we got the points, we had their number, and now we're in the playoffs with 1 game to spare against Valor. Come on, you Wanderers!